It is Saturday, April the 6th, 2019. This is an impromptu live stream. I didn't set anything up. And the reason I'm doing it live right now, unlisted, is for our members to get together and review what's going on in the markets and review some of the other cryptocurrencies. So it's going to be a rough live stream. Really unplanned, sort of planned, and then the markets are starting to take off like this. So I thought I'll just start it now, and I'll copy and paste the link to it when I find it here and put it up in our members area. Then I'll invite you along. That wasn't it. I am live. Let me refresh this page. Maybe it'll give me the link. In the meantime, you guys are watching what's going on in the markets. Let's zoom in on this one. And I'm going to go to the 1 minute bars just for the entertainment value of it. Now maybe it gives me the link. There we go. Private Trading Journal. No, I'll put it in the trade alerts. So, new live stream for everyone. In the alert. On now, no planning. Send. And so there is a little, pardon me. And so there is a little bit of planning to this. Let me go back to where it is. And I'll draw this over. There, that works. And we can even see the price of whatever that is in the background. Ethereum versus US dollar. Really big green candle. I really like it just where it stands there. So if it holds support here and goes higher from these levels, we're off in golden. So the overall purpose of this video now is to go through this list of coins. I captured this the other day on Monday, and now I'm going to go through this list of coins again and see what actually occurred. So I'll have this in my other screen, and then I'll be going through these step by step. I'll also pay attention to the live chat and say hello, because I imagine a person or two will pop in as we're doing this. Later, I may edit this, but not likely. What I want to do is, as the stream goes along, I would ask your favor that you would write down the timestamp of whatever coin we're looking at. No, actually, let me copy this, and I'll paste it in the description down below the video. And I don't know if that saves so that you can see it right away, but I can use that as a guide to start putting in the timestamps of each of those coins that we look at. That'll help later when you're coming along and you find this live video and you go, oh wow, I wasn't there live, but it saves you so much time. You'll be able to just click on each of these timestamps, and away you will be able to go and just watch for that coin. So I'll come back to this screen of 4, leave it at the 5 minute bars, and see how they're doing coming up now, testing these levels, pushing back a little bit, which is perfect. If they've poked up into these levels, they've got to come back and retest them again, stage above them and retest them, stage above these and retest them. and we'll continue to tune in to see which way is the boat going to rock. And then now let's go and take a look at our coins. So I've got 3 panels here. Let's put them all in the same coin. Bitcoin US dollar. This panel has the relative strength index. This panel has the on balance volume. This panel has the MACD indicator. This way, I can compare all 3 of those indicators for whichever market we're looking at. Clear this stuff off so that we are now starting off. And it really does look like prices are breaking up for Bitcoin from here. And when we look at the on balance volume just ticking to green here, this is really good. I like observing that when this happens. When we have it ticking green, when it's below the mid-level, ticking green and then going above, for me, is an important thing that I've been really studying. So showing strength coming out of this level and going green right there is really good. Checking in here now, we need to see this crossover in the histogram go to positive. I could actually just drag this over to a different monitor, leave that open, and just glance at it from time to time, and this would give me an early warning as to when Bitcoin is actually breaking out. And I know that when I double click it and I see those things happening, that Bitcoin will be breaking out at that time. Those things do go together. So again, the purpose of this video is we'll watch this back and forth, but we're going to go through that list. We're going to start off with ADX and then AE. So timestamp. Go to Binance. I'll go through them all. Filter it by Bitcoin, get rid of my favorites. Double checking the sound here. Everything seems to be working. So Bitcoin's edging up. Looking at ADA here, now I'm going to always start back from the 3-month view. This is making a beautiful parallel trend line up here now for us to watch. And so we could watch this over time and see what it does. But I also want to pay attention to the relative strength index. As prices are going up here, the relative strength index is easing off. So I am watching now for top formations in this and a break out of this uptrending channel. All of these markets, I am watching for this now. It's coming up to historical support and resistance. It's a perfect time for it to do a little pullback. And to see this divergence as we're coming up to the same thing, I've got to say back here, this is where I was predicting we would get up to before the big slam down to 2,500 in Bitcoin. And so now we're watching for this exact top formation RSI crossover. Really key stuff to watch closely for now as I zoom in on this and I'm seeing this divergence and I'm seeing this top formation and Bitcoin looking inviting. It's even a more scary time. These have all got to take off and break higher than this, or we are definitely in for a pullback right here. Let me take a screenshot of this. I'll go to a fuller screen, take the screenshot, copy that link, and share it in the private trading journal. Is this a top formation? So let's continue to pay close attention to that. Now, the next one we in our list was ADX, was the first one in our list to be a watch for April. And so far, it is not giving us anything. It's pulled back nicely in testing these support levels, but it's not something that's really looking like it's blasting off right now. And the timestamp is 10 minutes and 20 seconds. Oh, here we go. My apologies, I'm reading through the live stream announcement. Unannounced live stream. Thank goodness for spell checker. Live stream questions here. Live stream questions. Answers here. All right, ADX not giving me any kind of great ideas. AE, let's just continue down the list. AE is looking great. So I'm gonna zoom out on this. It's a buy signal right now. Like, were I given 1 Bitcoin right now to be buying, I would just purchase this right now. And I wouldn't wait for this entry. And I wouldn't wait for this stop loss either. Unless I was putting in $20, something like that. Then I would put my stop loss even further back. And I wouldn't care. I would just let this take its time. I even put it further back, and I'd put my $20 in there, and I wouldn't even pay attention to it again. But I would just buy it right now at the market. I wouldn't wait for these levels. So the way you use these stops is up to you. But now I'm going to take a screenshot of this. Not yet. I'm going to get rid of that below so it's a little cleaner. So I'm expecting that this is going to be taking off, but at the same time, I'm watching everything for this RSI divergence. I'm watching everything. If we go to AE now, go to BTC, get rid of the favorites, go to Binance, AE. Let me do the same thing over here. Go to Binance, AE. Okay, this is looking great, actually. On the 1 hour, it's really looking like it's building up as well, and an ascending wedge triangle. Just as soon as I see that, and I'm seeing the on-balance volume looking fantastic. I see these big spikes of it, a little bit of selling, but overall, AE has really got me now. When I'm starting to zoom in on this, I would just buy it at the market right now, and my stop loss would be right close. So if this doesn't prove me correct right away, if I'm not right on all of this ascending wedge triangle as Bitcoin's doing this, then everything in the whole market's going to be wrong, and I'm going to be wanting to go to stablecoin for everything almost right now. This is my fear. My hope is that it's all going to blast higher than this. So there is the review of AE, and the timestamp is, I'll say 14 minutes. Now I need to zoom back out. Make this intelligible. So there's my entry and my exit. Corrected. So I'm typing in Discord chat, screenshots from the live stream. Are in the trade alerts thread. Trade alerts. And back to our list now. We're looking for AION. I'm going to skip past AGI quickly. AION was definitely on our list earlier, and is still on the list. It's looking great. What's the timestamp now? 17 minutes and 30 seconds. So it's made its 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, and it's already broken out from here. It retested those levels a number of times, and then it broke out of a nice triangle here. Really difficult, though, with this massive spike backwards. And because these markets are very thinly traded, we can expect to see more of these massive spikes backwards as prices are going up in all of these markets. So we can expect to see these massive spikes backwards as prices are going up in all of these markets. And I know I just finished saying that we're going to see these massive spikes backwards when the markets are going up. But let's anticipate them. And when we do get a breakout like this and prices are going strong, let's anticipate that there's going to be some of this action happening. I'm calling it a reverse popcorn order, to be trailing the markets with a little wee order just way down below the market. I don't know how easy it is to do. It's a theory, and it's something I do with some of my trades, but depending on which platform you're on, it makes it a lot more difficult. And I don't use any third-party programs to help me with my trading. I only trade on the platform I'm trading on, so there's no third-party thing connected. Now, this market I can't say is something that I can jump into right now. It's already moved from, and it could go higher, but it's already moved up out of these bottom formations. And for me, this one has passed its prime. Maybe on Monday when I was first looking at it, the consolidation was earlier, but it still would have been a difficult market to trade. So it doesn't jump up into my top list now. AMB does, however, and we are at 19 minutes. AMB 19 minutes. And short-term memory loss, I'll just leave it at 19 minutes. This is a great pattern. We've got the pre-pump patterns coming in. And we've got Bitcoin breaking out again right now. We'll come back to this. But this is great. Really great pattern right this minute, were I given a Bitcoin to divide up into things. This would be on my list for sure to be, I would just buy it right now. I always just buy at the market. And then I would be watching it to say if I'm going to be getting out of it or not. I wouldn't be setting a stop loss here and then leaving it. I wouldn't set a buy order and then put a stop order and go off doing something else. I would buy at the market and I would watch it. I babysit that trade. If it's not proving me correct, I can get out. If it proves me correct, sometimes I add on right away as it's starting to move. I'm looking at the order book and I'm looking at these indicators. I'm seeing them give me what I want to see. I'll add on right away. Same thing, I'm watching it, and if it goes better, I'm good. I can leave it. And I don't put a stop loss below it for my own trading. Let me shut up and screen copy. Put it there. And in the private, no, in the trade alerts. There. APPC. So this one I can't get into now. And is it on our list? APPC, it was on our list. So maybe I was looking at a much longer term view. And yeah, in the longer term view, this may be a good place to be getting in. I would have to watch for it to be showing strength out of this. And then I could make that choice. But right now, it's not giving me... Yeah, it could be. Let's go and see what the indicators are saying. 4-hour bar. We're not getting any divergence that's showing me a big, strong positive divergence through these flat prices. I'm not getting a negative divergence, so no help there. Looking at APPC. Let's go to the 4-hour bar view. Zoom back out. So we had some pretty good positive. It's not that much less. And we're getting a little green tick right there. APPC on the 4-hour bar. Zoom back. We did get a crossover here that's really important. So long as this doesn't cross over again, we're golden. This is really good to have come down to these levels and crossed over right at the same levels. That's good. But it's got to continue up higher. It's got to break higher than that for a buy signal. And then I'm very wary because of it's got so much space down below it here. I think it'll follow Bitcoin if Bitcoin's taking off. And I can't just lay this over easily and nicely, but I can see right now on one of my other screens that Bitcoin's starting to get some more juice. So as these are breaking out, we'll pause the details and go over this. If you've got any questions, hello, AOL Chandra and Kieran K. Good to have you guys here. Good to have you on a private thing where you can ask me whatever you want. We can go through these markets and really make some choices that and details in the trading plan that I wouldn't be talking about on the free YouTube videos. But look at this take off. Also a fun time just to be watching it. Need some heroic music playing. Whoops. This got stuck where I can't get it now. Minimize. right, I couldn't reach it anymore. I got it in between two of my monitors and I couldn't get the tab to slide it out of the way. So here we are taking off. Fantastic to watch. Now, where will that browser come up again here? There. All right. Check the chat, check the Discord. Back to our list now. So the list I'm looking at is in our Discord. I posted it on Monday here. And I'm going through that list. But I'm working my way through everything on Binance. While I'm on the way down that list, I'll just check them all. We'll see if we find anything. And I started this call without planning it. So my coffee is in the kitchen. I didn't pour it yet. I'm going to put this back here to watch what's going on. And where's my mouse? Can I go to the private voice chat as well? And I have a voice conversation. Let's see. Will this include your voice? If you join me in the private voice channel, looks like it. There we go. I don't know how that'll work. We'll see. But I'm going to go and pour myself a coffee. If you guys want to join me in the private voice channel, I think it'll be recorded with the live stream. Now, if I mute myself here, so then okay, I can push the mute on the microphone here, and I am supposed to be muted.
Hello.
Alrighty, I'm back. My apologies. What's the timestamp? 31 minutes. Where are we? So we've got Commander in the voice chat. And we were looking at, why do I have ARDR up? APPC. Okay, we had just finished looking at APPC. Then we've moved on to ARDR just because we're going through them all. But ARC is the next one on our list. So ARDR, I'm more biased towards. Wow, look at Bitcoin in the background. That looks so good. I'm biased towards ARDR because of my long-term history with it, but also because of this chart pattern here, and the chart pattern on Poloniex makes it look even more inviting. Now that it's come back to retest these levels here, this is a springboard trade pattern entry. This is classic springboard trade pattern entry. And so for my own part, were I to be given one Bitcoin and I was just about to divide it up, this would be one of them that would get, oh, I don't know, 1/20th of the Bitcoin, 1/50th. And I would divide it up this way. So I'll take the screenshot, but ARDR wasn't on our list. It is now. New ARDR. My dyslexia comes out. And we're at 3402. Keywords in completely the wrong place. Moving on to ARK was on the list earlier. Yeah, I didn't give it an actual trading signal alert, but because it came up 3 times like that and was looking so positive, it would have been easy to draw a box above that. Now that it's come back and tested this, I'd like this to fill itself out a little bit more. Oh, I can't mute myself in both. I have to use the microphone push button now to mute myself when I clear my throat. So a risky trader would say this is a good swing trade entry. It's come back to these support and resistance levels. This is the second time it's hit here. It's higher lows. It's above this longer term moving average. You could risk it. You could say, you know, I think the snapback effect is going to make this one take off from here. You could put your money in and then get out right away if it doesn't prove you correct. And you could add on if it does prove you correct. It doesn't quite fit the maturity of the formation I'm looking for, but if I was familiar with this market, that might do it for me right there. Say, oh, this is the pullback I was looking for. Now I'm going to load up on it. So I'll take a screenshot. And put it in there. And let's go on to each one. Okay, nothing I can do here. It's the same as ARK, actually, that it's pulled back into these levels. A swing trader would be all over this. And for me, I'm a breakout trader, so this is what I would wait for it to consolidate more and give me a better thing for the, so that it's breaking out of a consolidation. A swing trader would look for this. I'm looking for the consolidation first. So it's a matter of, your own choice for this one as a trade. It looks good. It could be the perfect time to buy. AST. Look at this. We're getting a real pattern now where we've seen those highs and everything's pulled back a little bit as Bitcoin's did its surge up. Now, is this the snapback effect and we're all going to be going up? We've got something to watch for now. We've got a real clean point in several different markets all adding up. Good coffee. Good coffee. Got to jump over, look at Litecoin now, showing a little bit more leadership than Ethereum and Stellar. But these formations here are wonderful. It's another set of 1, 2, 3 bottom formations. My mind draws them whenever I see them. And I can't draw on this chart the way I want to. So let's go over to Bitfinex, Bitcoin USD, 1 year view. Look at that. It's going to be taking off. Zooming in. I'm getting distracted because it's like I'm getting vertigo when I see that. It's going to be taking off so high. But the thing I was just talking about was those little 1, 2, 3s is this 1, 2, 3 right here. And when we zoom in closer, there's a little 1, 2, 3 right there where the prices came down. They hit it. They tried again. They couldn't do it. They tried again. Then they broke above it. Same thing again when we zoom in on the closer time frame. There it is. A 1, 2, 3 bottom formation broke above it, breaking above the larger 1, 2, 3. Just wonderful to see it. 6,100 incoming. Then what are we going to do? Let's go and check out the rest of those coins now. BAT. Nothing I can do here, even though it's broken above new highs. A swing trader, we've got this all over the place now. Swing traders heaven right now, this moment, as things have pulled back, just as Bitcoin did this ratchet up. There's this moment. And I think that we're going to get that spring effect. This wasn't on our list for April. This isn't a coin. Okay, this could be something. Bitcoin Diamond, and it really could blast off and take off. This could be one of those small cap coins that just goes through the roof. It's got that formation and the bull flag here. It could. Doesn't quite match what I want to trade though, so I'm not going to touch it for myself. ABC and the other ones. Okay. Now, in hindsight, let's start watching for this. We saw this in Dash as well. Pretty much the same thing. Out of a bigger 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, we saw that staging occurring as it was building up. So this is something that I'm going to skip ahead to Dash right now. Come on now. Don't fail me, Alphabet. So it's not quite the same looking. Let me trash that. And we can get to see it now, where we have this staging and staging and staging inside the larger 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. Do we have other markets that are doing this? Because I think that I think that we are in the beginnings of something that's going to be much bigger than most people are expecting. Much bigger than most people are expecting. And this is what I want to be prepared for. I want to leave my stops just above my entry, let the market have some room to be wild and not take me out. I want to stay in for that. So that is phenomenal to see that. Where were we now? BC, ABC? Let's watch for this in other markets. Missed it. Not seeing it here. Not liking what I'm seeing here at all. double checking around, making sure there's no comments or chats or questions, because this is what I do. I'll grab a coffee and I'll just go through this stuff, and sometimes I'll talk through it as though there is an audience here. But mostly I just go through it. Okay. I'm trying to look for this now. Inside the larger 1, 2, 3 bottom. Looking for this kind of staging setup. Because this jumps up into our list. And this is BCPT. It was on the list before. So now I'll take a screenshot of this. I guess I'll stay right there. Screenshot. Copy link. Wow, 42 minutes. 42 minutes. This will be a long one. So afterwards, I may download it and just edit to the highlights. Not likely, though. The video processing. Oh. I got to go log into Binance and see if I have a Satoshi to put into this market. Like, wow. This is on the 1-day charts. Wow. The increase in volume here, while we're making this bowl shape on the weekly, suggests that we're probably going to go 8 times in value from where, no, 4 times in value, 16 to 30 to 74-ish, probably 7,000. It'll run out of steam, maybe even bump up against 6,000. So it may only triple in value, but this is phenomenal. And it was on our list. I'm just going to take a screenshot. There's no words needed. I can't see the time. All right. Switch these around. There we go. Now I can see the time and the other panel at the same time. So we're at 44 minutes, I'll say. 44-ish. For the BLZ chart. Now we're on to BNT as our next one to be looking at. Oh, but of course we're watching for top formations here. We're on the 1 day, on the 12-hour, and the top formation here would be a break along this line, which is of course a break of this line. It would confirm a drop below this channel. Those are all for breaks for the sell order to get out. And the moving average would cross over. Those would be our 3 things that we're watching for. Declining volume, you know, it could stage and go higher from here. It could, even though it's at historical highs. And I want you to pay attention now, because you guys are in the course and this isn't just YouTube everywhere. This is a utility token that runs the platform Binance. Okay, they're finding other uses for it, but it's Binance coin, so that you can trade on Bitcoin, trade all these different currencies against Bitcoin, trade all these different currencies against the stable coin, trade all these different currencies against Binance coin. And I thought, what a crazy idea. Why would you even do that? I never paid much attention to it, and as I got any Binance coin, I sold them right away. What a stupid thing. Like, I didn't get it. I really didn't get it. And the chart patterns were, you know, because of my confirmational bias, I didn't trade this one, probably. I probably didn't trade this one. I was probably feeling self-confirming as this was happening, But I did trade this one right in here. I made some good profit and got out way too early. And it could go much higher. And the reason I bring this up and talk about the fact that it's a utility token is I'm going to jump right side stream here. MadeSafe coin is going to be a utility token that underpins an entirely new type of internet. It's been around for a long time in the cryptocurrency world, so long that it's forgotten. And if Binance coin is any indicator of what a utility token can do that is just for operating within the platform Binance, then this is going to be a utility token that underpins a whole new type of internet. Imagine if Google and Facebook and Instagram and what if they all had to pay using a central utility token for all internet traffic? What if everybody who had a Facebook page, a web page, had to pay in this central utility token for all website traffic in and out, hosting, people using your website, or you storing stuff in your website even if people don't use it? This is the kind of thing that MadeSafe is going to be. And at 14 cents a token or something right now, and the bottom formation of a lifetime, I do want everybody to have at least a token or two of MadeSafe coin. Then you can focus on your percentage gains and tell me about them over time. So I took some profits from Doge trade just recently. In this blast, I took some profits, 0.7 Bitcoin worth, and I bought all MadeSafe coin. All of it into MadeSafe coin. And so this is the daisy chaining of profits, taking profits, putting it into the next one, taking profits, putting it into the next one, paying attention to which ones are at these bottom formations before the breakout. We've already seen the breakout. We know how to identify it now. Let's go back and off my rant. Back to Binance. And where on our list are we? We're looking for bank or network token. BNB, that's what got me off topic, because it's probably going to go higher. It's at $20 a coin now. So if you can buy MadeSafe coin at 14 cents a coin and they go to $20 a coin, it's insane, the profit. If you can sit long enough. I couldn't sit long enough on my BNT trade. So no, on my BNB trade. Now BNT is another utility token that may pick up and do something in the long run. It certainly had a volatile beginning here, and it's on our list, but it's a fragile one for on the list. I'm just gonna go on to BQX. BQX is a much better one. I like the base underneath this one. It's nothing at all like BLZ. Like the base under this is crazy. It's absolutely amazing. So the volume, that base, you can just see it, is not quite there. But this gets some volatile moves. It's pulled back to some great levels. It's a beautiful market to be watching. And our timestamp is 50 minutes for BQX. 50 minutes, thereabouts. So this is another one that if you were to be trading it, for my own part, I would, this would be on my top list. I would take, if I had my Bitcoin and I was breaking it up into 50 parts, I would take one of those 50 parts and I would purchase this. And I'd be watching. If it started to come down and everything's all going down, I might go into a stable coin out of this right away and take that money and see what goes on. But I'm not thinking so. This would be one of those I'd put some money into. So let me take a screenshot. I guess I'll draw my, clear it first. Right there. And never pay attention to this top line. This is never to be used, just like the stop loss is never to be used. I'm always erring on the side of getting out too soon and never letting hit my stop loss. I'm always erring on the side of leaving my stops just above my entry and not putting a target as to where it's going to go. The market is going to tell me how correct I am. I'm not going to say, okay, that's how I'm completely correct. I was correct in BNB, but I sure would have been a lot more correct if I'd have stayed in it. It would have been a lot better. And so I want to now err on the side. Something like this is where I got out of it. I want to err on the side of staying into a trade. Look at these happening again here. Let's pay attention to those. I like those. So BQX. Love it. That was a good one. BRD. Sure, it's probably going to really blast. It's got better underpinnings here than some of the other coins, better volumes, but they're all in spikes. It's not. So I would have a smaller position and my stops way up here, and then I would just take my percentage profits, and this wouldn't get onto my list. Even though it could make a great percentage gain, I don't like what's going on underneath this. It doesn't seem like it's got the big use case scenario that's driving it. This, however, what's going on? It's matching Bitcoin exactly. So I don't know enough about this market to be commenting on it actually. Clear. I know it's another stable coin or a Bitcoin stable something. I haven't researched it enough. I've been seeing it and watching it, but USDT is not keeping up to Bitcoin. What's going on? USDC is keeping up to Bitcoin more correctly. USDS really sucks. That one got wrecked the other day. USDT. Okay, this is USDT. This one's matching better than true US dollar was. True US dollar was not really doing so good there. All right, on to Bitcoin Gold, which was in our list for early April. It was making this formation, and sure enough, it's starting to break out along with Bitcoin on some pretty good volume. It could be something to put $1 or $2 into. It doesn't make my list though, although I'll take a screenshot here just to mark the occasion. Bitcoin Gold, and we are at 54, say 10. Now we're on to BitShares. Okay, I'm very biased on BitShares because I've got a whack of it. Could very well be my biggest position now. So is this the bowl with handle, the cup with handle formation? Let me change the color of this. I think it is. It's a great big bowl shape. It's pulled back here fantastically. Now, what I want to do is clear, double check. I want to go to Binance, BitShares, double click, refresh that page. I want to go to Binance, BitShares. All right, so I pulled back, but we've got the crossover. We're on the 15-minute bars. MACD, checking out BitShares more closely. See, we got a pretty good skewer down here that didn't go that deep in Poloniex. Interesting. Still not looking bullish, really bullish here on the 1 hour. Go to the 4 hour, kind of. If this stays a positive histogram, that could be bullish. Zoom out to the 12 hour, and it's still looking negative. Although if this crosses over, that's very good. If you know, and this for me, I would drag this over to a different monitor, and I would just leave this set so that I could glance over every once in a while and see if this crosses over. I know it's time to take action, although I'm already fully set. I'm just trying to verify my own opinion here. So we had a big on balance volume move here, huge, and it's pulled back a little bit, but it's been positive on balance on this daily. Wow, huge move there. Trickling through all the way in the 12 hour. It hasn't gone to negative. When I go into the 4 hour, it didn't even jump to negative. It stayed trickling positive. So we had a bit of negative here, but compared to everything else, that is really small bit of selling there. So this is looking pretty good. As I zoom in on this to get a feel for where things are, I'm seeing positive, a little bit of negative, more positive. Overall, it really does give the hypothesis, or add the hypothesis that this is going to be taking off big time. This is the one, actually, that gave me a divergence right here that makes me take pause. This is a steeper angle slightly. So no, it doesn't, it's not a deep warning as I'm seeing it, but I am watching for that. I'm expecting that this has got to be showing strength now. If I clear that off and zoom in, I'm expecting that this will be showing strength and will tick up from here. Should everything be correct? This way. So after all that, I've just confirmed my bias. Like, I'm good to hold my position. I'm happy to be in it. I expect that this is going to be doing something crazy that I don't even want to predict. But just by the size of this chart and the length of this, if you take that and tip it up sideways, as I've seen many markets do in the past, it's no guarantee of the future, but really looking for the 4,000 level, 3,900 level, and that's probably higher. And it freaks me out to say it, but that's what I'm watching for here. And that this should stay overbought all the way along here as it's going. How about the 5-year view? So we're at the weeklies. We don't have very much history here on Binance for this coin, but really crazy. I'll just take a screenshot for posterity. And I went on about that for a while, starting at about 55 minutes. BTT. Girls, double check for chat. I used to edit videos a hell of a lot of work, but I don't did it because my wasn't there yet. However, great job with the live stream. Editing stuff is more work for me. I'm all for the live stream. Thank you, Dest. I had asked earlier, do you like the live stream or do you like the edited thing with some extra fancy transitions and stuff like that? Editing is a hell of a lot of work. A 10-minute video takes more than an hour to do. More than an hour. Now, I was not talking about this coin earlier because I can't do technical analysis on something that's got such a short pattern unless I zoom into a closer time frame, and then it's less reliable. And when you have a market that's gone such through a small range as this, it's even less reliable. However, now that it's back down to its initial entries and it's not diving and it's holding itself steady, just this little bit of move as Bitcoin goes up, That's pretty interesting. It might be interesting to have a little bit of that and watch what's going. I'm still going to wait for the 1, 2, 3 bottom and for it to break above the 22 level. And then if it's showing momentum and going somewhere, who knows where it could go. Sia coin started off really low as well. And this is connected to a very big, well-utilized system. So going on now to CDT, which was in the early April alerts. It was making that same ascending wedge triangle that I've been paying attention to. It did pull back and retest the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation levels and skewered down to even, kill everybody who wasn't leaving their stop below the number 3 point. So everybody got spanked in this market. This is got some range to it. So if you're trading this one, you got to take that range into mind, and the size of your position is smaller so that you can absorb that range without it making a big effect to your overall portfolio. And it looks like a good buy right this minute because it's breaking above these levels. For me, I would collect up a little bit right here. And if it started to break down into these levels at all, I would be going, ooh, that shouldn't be. It should be going higher. It may go sideways for a while, but it shouldn't sink down into these levels at all. I would get rid of it then. But if it did go sideways and started to go higher, I would add on to it. So this, for me, is a good looking market. And we're looking at the 1-day view. So let me zoom in on this and zoom in on this and zoom in on it. So it even looks better at the as a moment type of thing where we've got this ascending wedge triangle blasted. Now it's testing above this level, right at this level. That is just where I like to be. That's the kind of confirmation. And I also look for this on the other side when we're breaking down from a top formation and we get this skewer down and it comes and retests. And I want to see it go, continue on this way, test and show strength. On a sell, I want it to break and then show weakness. Then that's my moment right here as it's taking off right there. So I'm going to screenshot that, copy link, and put it in. Sorry about that. Seller, maybe, but it doesn't have the support underneath with the volume of buying. It's started off with volume and then it's sort of trickled back. No market there. Cloak, no market there. CMT was on the list. Sure enough, look at this. And, pardon me, it's got the volume to go along with it. It's got the trade volume and the nice spikes at the right time here as well, where people are soaking it up as it's coming right to historical bottoms. And then it's slowly going up on a good steady amount of buying volume. I like this coin. I like it. And so again, for me, the same thing would apply. We're going to go to, 1 hour, 4 minutes. And I would do the same thing. I would just purchase it right now. If it started to go weaker, and it would have to go down in a ways before I would get out of this one. I would give it some range. But this would rank in my top 50. If I was to give in that one Bitcoin and divide it up into 50 different coins, this would get 1/50th of my Bitcoin as an investment. CND might as well. I kind of like this chart pattern and the volume build up below. It's a little bit even more mature. In that it's made the crossovers of all three moving averages. It is now sitting, retesting these important support and resistance levels. So it would fit into my one of the 50. It could fit into one of the 50. And I would be buying it right there as it stands. I'm not fooling around now because everything else is turned and this is later. And then I would be skittish too. I wouldn't be holding this one Yep. No, I would hold it down to here. So I'll put a little bit in and I'd get out right away if it didn't prove me correct on this one, because it's making a top formation. Making a top formation at the same time. So if I look at this, it gives me a much earlier entry. I'd be a skittish pop right at these levels. It's perfect, potentially, and also the perfect place to be getting out. So I'll leave it like that, and I'm going to take a screenshot because CND was not on the list before. CND. Sketchy. Really good one as an alert though, because if everything else is topping and coming down, this will come down as well. It could come from the 400 level to the 250 level. Really, if Bitcoin is topping from here and coming back, so will this. Civic Coin, I like this one better even because it's did the pullback as Bitcoin moved up and it's consolidated. So if it's showing strength as Bitcoin showing strength, this is the time. This is exactly what I love it. This is such a great example. Really. Come down to our number 1 point, number 2 point, number 3 point, retests it. It breaks above. It's clear enough that we can say yes. Breaks up, comes back and retests it, and now it's showing strength. So those are the 2 places that we can buy on a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation breakout. Now we have a long time to wait. A long time to wait. Civic Coin, this doesn't have as much history here in this market either. So let me now take a screenshot. That's the 1-day view. Let's go to the 3-month view and zoom out. Just the right amount there so I can screenshot that, copy that link, put it in. Dash. We already took a look at Dash, and Dash gave us a real lesson. It's going to be taking off from here. Like, it's just a buy signal. It's just a massive buy signal. I don't know why it wasn't on my list before. It's crazy. Massive buy signal. Let me just roll over here to my other monitor. It's a massive buy signal, but it could have some volatility for sure. Remember that idea of, okay, we're looking at the 12-hour, that's good. The idea of leaving a buy order below an uptrending market to catch the times when everybody is so bullish, they're putting on too large of a position with too much leverage, and the automated trading bot programs can see all of that. They can see that their stop losses are too close. They can see all of the open orders. And there's a time when they know exactly how much to sell in order to hit everybody's stops to cascade the market down where they can scoop up some enormous deals. Prices jump right back up and they make millions of dollars over a few minutes of time. Binance is especially susceptible to it. And so having these kind of open buy orders, crazy levels below the market, just above support. So just above these support levels would be where your buy orders would be. Just little bits. Should the markets cascade down there and jump back up, I would close the position immediately or reevaluate it. But just saying that even though this looks like it's going to be going considerably up, there's going to be some times where it's going to have some massive spikes down, so you have to be ready for it. Crazy chart. Data was in our list for April. It's also broken out and pulled back. It pulled back too much though, and I would have to give this one less of an input. I don't like the buying patterns here as well. I don't like the trading patterns to it. It would have a much smaller position for me. My sell orders would be in place up in advance, and then I would just step out of this one. And it's on my list from before, but I would just go ixnay. Not, it could go great, but it's just not fitting the pattern as some of the others are, so I would put them as preference. This one would get preference from me as a takeoff right now, and I'm surprised it's not on the list from before. But right now, I would be saying, okay, let's go check the order book and go purchase it. And I know that historically it's done enormous gains over on Poloniex. That's why it's now listed on Binance, and it hasn't had a chance to show its true color yet. But I would certainly copy this and paste it in. Decreed DCR. Paste in the screenshot. Just, it's for me that I don't even have to mark it up. It should be obvious. Dent. What happened to Dent? Any market hitting the bottoms when nothing else is a warning. DGD, I do have it on the list, and I like this chart pattern, but sure is early in the... We're looking at the 12-hour. Go to the 1-day view. So we're looking at the 1-day bars, trying to see where these moving averages are. I like the trading volume pattern. Zoom back into the 12-hour bar. Not bad. It's pulled back great inside these levels so that it does give us a nice clear area for buying and getting out. I like that it's got higher lows all the way along here. This could be staging to go very, very much higher, but we're at a very early age of this one, and yeah, it might get my 1/20th. So I took a screenshot and I put that in the description down below the video. I'll copy and paste that into something and send it out. DLT was also on the list because of this consolidation and that it was looking like it was going to go higher. So you can't take everything that's on the list and just go with it, because look how it immediately broke down below this. So if I had purchased in and it started to show this kind of weakness, I would get out. I'd be waiting, and I still would be waiting. There's lots of time for this to show me its true color. Make me an ascending wedge triangle. Then I think you are on your way. But for now, it's in the process of building. So a swing trader would approach this completely differently. A swing trader would say, oh, look at this. It's back to these important support levels. It's hit this support many times. Now making this formation, you could risk it, because if it goes down below, you could get out. If it goes above, you could add on, and you know you're on the right time, and the whole uptrend of the whole universe and everything could be a great pullback time to get in, but it doesn't match what I try to do. I see it, and I see it go by, and even if it makes profit, I go, yeah, that would have made profit. It's not what I approach it to do. So I just want to share that with you, because if that's your trading plan, write it down. Get used to it, practice it, know where your rule number 1 and rule number 2 end, and there's a whole trading plan right there. It really works if you work it. Zooming in just to see that we pulled back a little bit. Now we got that step of strength coming back into our 4. Let's continue on our list now. So we went past DLT. Now we're getting into DNT, and we're at 1 hour 16 minutes. 1 hour 16 minutes. Another example. Another example of the pullback, just like a Civic coin. Like, if you're a swing trader, this is fantastic. But for me, this swing trade has come back into a territory where I can actually take action on it. a breakout above that support and resistance level is significant enough for me to be able to take an action, and it gives me a clean enough triangle that I could get a nice clean exit point if it doesn't prove me correct. I know right away. I know exactly when to be getting in and out. And then it gives me a bigger 1, 2, 3 bottom on a longer time frame to be considering an add-on. I like the chart volume going on underneath here as well. So this bodes well for this market. It would fit into my top. It would fit into my top 20 or whatever that is. 1/20th. And we're only on to D. Oh, Doc looks pretty good. I've kind of liked the trading volume underneath it. Not as much as some other ones, but I like the size and the build of this. I would have to say, yeah. I would have to say this one, I'll just copy and paste that and put it right into place there. It looks good. That's what I look for. This shape, this pattern. I don't know about the market. I don't know what's going on, but I'll be able to do my risk control rules on this and sit back. If it jumped up above there, I'd put my stop above my entry and wait. I don't know what's going on with this market, but I like it. Whoa. I really was super in favor of this one. I really liked this chart pattern earlier. It was making such a beautiful ascending wedge triangle on a massive scale. And then we have all of these candles and big volume of selling out. Wicked. So this is where your stop loss rules protect your fanny. I wouldn't touch this market now, especially with this change in volume. Way wicked volume over here, and then drop down to almost nothing. Then this big spikes of any time it went up, somebody just dumped it. Who knows? I wouldn't touch it, and it's probably going to go through the roof, but I wouldn't touch it. ELF, however, look at the buildup of trade volume on this. Look at this bottom formation that it's building up out of and consolidating back for us, giving us a nice clean entry point. So this would be in my top list. This market would get noticed. ELF. Paste that in there. And so I wouldn't try to pinpoint an entry on this one as much as I would just purchase and leave my mental stop way back into this range. And it may come back into this range, and it might have been a little bit better time to have purchased. But in the long term, the quibbling between this and that is not making a difference. When we're in a huge bottom formation like this, and I'm aiming for the 2400, if I got it at 44.5 or 44.20, or 39, that's okay, whatever. I just try to just get it into the general area and give it more room to go. I just go in smaller positions in more different places. So if this one's more volatile, it's okay. The other ones are probably going up a little bit. So overall, I can take it. It's fits into what I'm doing. So ELF, got the screenshot. ENG, looking good. This is the swing traders buy that I could sink my teeth into, because it's just come back to the number 2 point. 1, 2, 3, broke out, came back, retesting it on strength. I could be chomping on that. ENG. So ENG didn't make it before, but I'm going to copy it now. Go ENG. We are at 1 minute 19, we'll say. 1 hour, 19 minutes. Let's not short it. And paste that in. We're only up to E's, and we're going to be here for 4 hours, 3 hours. ENJ, no way. Wouldn't touch it. I've already made my profit on it. I probably still own some, actually, I'm certain I still do. So I would wait for this now to consolidate for a while longer for the add-on position. It's building. It's starting out nicely. It's come back to these historical places. Really nice, but it needs some more time to mature, this bottom formation. So as I'm zooming in, it may not need that much more time, because it's already given us a 1, 2, 3. So if it starts to consolidate and break back above these levels here, there's my add-on position. And this is how to set up those add-on positions. They are really take a long time. So if I bought $100 worth here at 1,000, now my $100 is worth $300. So I could add on another $100 here. And if prices came back, so I've got my original 100 plus 200 profit. If prices came back, then I'm losing some of the profit off of my original trade, and I'm losing profit off of my add-on trade. So I'm losing double down to here. So that would take me right back to zero. Now I've got my $200. I lost $100. I've lost from my add-on. I've lost from my original position, and both of them together cancel me out halfway along. And so for a longer term trader's position, then we are trying to keep those risks to a minimum as we're starting out. This doesn't have a lot of long-term history for me to pull this back and give it to a proper scale. Proper scale as to what could be happening in the longer term trend. Right, so if I start out here and I add on here, I'm doing it risk-free, risk-adverse. Crazy, because I've tripled my money. Of course, it's risk-adverse. But you get the idea that you want to add on after you have a cushion of profit to protect that original investment, so that if it does pull back and you're losing double because you've got double the size on, that you can let it ride a little bit enough so that you are bigger when you are correct. Woo. That was unexpected, but perfect, because we've been getting questions about when do I add on? When do I add on? When do I add on with least amount of risk for this long-term trend? If it's a short-term trend and we are just seeing this move up here and prices are coming back and we're going to go sideways for a while, of course, it's better to have taken your profit on the first stage of exits, on the break of the uptrend line, on the break of the 1, 2, 3 top formation, on the break of the 12-hour bar moving average. This would be your exit point right there. So if I entered here, I would be staging out here, 1, 2 here, and 3 here. I'd be taking all my profit out of that trade. So that's one of the ways to do it. The other way is to not take and add on to it. We'll see how it plans out in the long term. EOS, EOS, EOS. Looks like it's going way up from here. And of course, I'm super excited about this one. I've got that's in my top 5 holdings anyway. We caught this 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, watched this range, caught this breakout, stayed in it as it pulled back here because we were watching how it was retesting these old historical support and resistance, gave it some breathing room, not really believing that it was a top formation breaking down. And of course, you can see the moving averages didn't cross over. So it gave us a really good filter here to stay in this trade as it was going along. Now it's staging and looking like it's going to be going higher. There's a couple different places you could have been adding on. Here, here, now, here. It looks like it's going to be something significant, and I would bet that it's going to be breaking prior highs in the time to come. So even though this wasn't on the list before, I messed this chart up a lot. I'm going to clear it off and just take the screenshot and put it into our, because this is a beautiful chart. EOS. We were probably at 1 hour 25 minutes with this chart. Woo! Well, Ethereum Classic. Doesn't do it for me yet. It's really taken a lot of selling. So we'll watch it. It'll turn around. It'll come up. Ethereum. Wow. Look at the... I was expecting better, actually. It's looking quite a bit like Ethereum Classic, where it really took a lot of selling here as Bitcoin started to take off. But, of course, we're looking at Ethereum versus the price of Bitcoin. We've already talked about that, where Ethereum is going up versus US dollar, just not going up as fast as Bitcoin. And this, I do believe, will have a slingshot effect and go up faster than Bitcoin overall. Partly because it came down faster than Bitcoin overall. Partly because all the way through this period here, it was being hammered by ICO sales. People who were launching ICOs, and then they were gathering up all of their money, and then they were selling the Ethereum that they had gathered during their ICO in order to fund their operations. This was huge. This was massive, and all of these things were selling and outselling each other as prices were going down. And so I think this is artificially pushed down. And that when this does start breaking higher, it's going to outmatch Bitcoin and be one of the leaders. So that leads me to believe that this is a spring back moment that the indicators should be telling us, should be coming along with us and telling us the same thing. So I should be seeing a divergence in the RSI in the long term. Am I? Yeah, kind of, actually. This much angle here, more angle there. This was a down, this was a little bit up. So we had a lower RSI here and a higher RSI there. So overall, yes, this RSI is giving us a feeling of a lot more coming into the market than the prices are showing us. Let me clear that off and go into the 1 year RSI. Pull it back. Yes, but a pullback here is not what we were wanting. Wanted to break higher. So it's got to break higher than these levels again to regain that. Wow. All right, so this is not confirming it nicely for what I wanted to see. There's a lot of on-balance selling going on the 12 hours. In the daily, there's a lot of on-balance selling. Doesn't look like a turnaround market at all when I go through this. That's a bummer. Even in the 5 year, well, we can see a massive on-balance selling here, and overall a little bit more buying than selling through the weekly, but not looking good in the 12 hour. It's certainly even in the 4 hour, we got a lot more selling going on recently. Very interesting. I can't wait to see how this plays out. I don't think I've gone through this chart with this indicator before to have seen how negative the volume is here. I didn't realize that, actually. And when we go out to the weekly MACD indicator, make sure I'm clear, these are coming closer together. If those cross over, that's not good for Ethereum at all. If this histogram goes to the negative, Ethereum is in serious trouble. If I go into the 1 year view and start to zoom out on this, it's just crossed over to the negative where Bitcoin has crossed over to the positive. So again, we're looking at Ethereum versus Bitcoin. So I got to go and look at Ethereum versus US dollar to really get this solid. But until then, it's still looking like it's going to be picking up and going along with Bitcoin and outperforming it. Wow. Wasn't expecting that. EVX, double click. nope, can't be in our April list, even though it's going to be taking off higher from here. It's not given a consolidation the flavor that I can trade. Fortunately, this was such an obvious chart pattern beforehand that I'm in profit now with EVX. So this is the kind of chart pattern that we're looking for now. So I took some profit on EVX. That's what I take it and I put it back into something that is looking like this, that hasn't taken off yet. That's the real hunt. Nothing going on here but watching it, because this really lost a lot of value versus Bitcoin, more than half. Fuel. Okay, I like the chart pattern here. We're on the 12-hour bar. Let's go to the 1 day. I like the chart pattern. I like that it's pulled back and stayed above this support and resistance level. Now I'll zoom in to see what does this tip look like. Zoom in on the 12-hour bar, and it's not looking like a strong 1, 2, 3. Bottom right in here. Zooming in. If this gives us a good strong 1, 2, 3 bottom and starts breaking above these levels, this would be a place to salt away some of this. Yes, definitely. This would be on my list because of these pre-pump patterns in the past and this increase in volume that we've pulled back to these levels. On strength, it would definitely be a purchase for fuel. And it wasn't on the list before. FUEL. And that was at about, say, 1 minute 32. Fun. I've cleared this 26% loss off of this chart so many times. Every time I come in here, I go, okay, yeah, that was quite a while ago now. Clear that off, and the chart is building up so that it could be another formation. This could be one that is the furthest back stage in our cryptos, in that after we have things like EVX take off, this would be one of those that I'm looking back into to say, okay, we've got the pre-pump patterns, we've got the increasing volume, it's inside the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation still. It could be a late blooming opportunity that we could be using as a daisy chain. After we take some profits out of a good market, we could daisy chain it back into something that's looking like this. But it's not on the list right now. Gas is on the list and is looking great. I'm just going to grab a screenshot, say no more, say no more. Well, I could say more about the volume underneath it. And we're looking at 1 minute 34, 1 hour 34 minutes. Put the chart in. So I think it's going to be taking off, but it doesn't have that volume underneath it that other coins do. So some of those other coins would be on the top of the list. This would be on my short list, but not yet chosen. If I had that Bitcoin and I was dividing it among 50 different coins, so this gets, you know what I mean? GNT, Golem Network Token, pulled back really nice. I do own some of this. I'm not going to be selling it. It's, again, the volume pattern is better than some others. It would be in my short list, but I don't know if I would be actually trading it. But being in my short list, I will put it into, and it was on the April list as well. So the April list was looking for this ascending wedge triangle, and it was shortlisted to say, okay, this is looking really good, and it looks like it's going to go straight up. But as Bitcoin took off, this pulled back, giving us a different and maybe a better opportunity. GO in the past has done some phenomenal moves and then slowly pulled back, made this formation a phenomenal move on extraordinary volume, and now it's pulled back. I would say this is a really good opportunity, and it would definitely be on my list. And I'm surprised it wasn't earlier. Maybe because it was already had been taken off. Now that it's pulled back, it jumps into the list. Like, this would be an active thing. I wouldn't even put it on my list and reconsider it later. I'd be just going and purchasing it at the price. So this is 1 hour, 36 minutes. 1 hour, 35 minutes. And paste in the chart. Because if I zoom in on this now, 12-hour bar view, zoom in, it could be anything within this range, but I would just grab a bit and get out if it didn't prove me correct. Add on if it proves me correct. You're happy. It's doesn't have to be a big position, but I'm after those percentage gains. GRS did a big move and pulled back. It could be something to go on, but with that little bit of volume in there, I'm going, yeah, it's on my short list, but I'll probably fill my list with other things first. GTO would be one of those because it's got much better volume profile. It was making the ascending wedge triangle and pulled back now and giving us a chance to be able to step in there. It would be on my list, but it would not be at the top of my list. I'll take a screenshot and I'll put it in here. And I know GVT, okay, GVT is next. And we are at 138. GVT, I would have kept. I would have kept it. Though it's kind of against my trading rules. If it starts breaking down here, this is one that's just hard to keep. You have to just go for the longer term with it. But for me, I would have kept it. And now that it's pulled back to this consolidation in the 1 month view, as it's starting to show strength up and out of this, it may be an opportunity to get onto it, but I would wait for it to mature now. I would hold mine. I'm holding mine, but I wouldn't just jump into it right now. It could be the perfect time, of course. You never know. But I would wait for it to make a deeper pattern now and show me that it's changing direction. It almost showed me, and it's come back and fooled me a bit. But it was extraordinary circumstances right at the very same time the Bitcoin came back. So I think it'll snap back up, but I'm going to wait for it and make it show me. Because markets like this ones have already taken off and they pulled back, but they didn't get as affected. This looks like it'll be taking off more. It's not a market I can trade now that it's taken off out of this and it's pulled back to where it is. It's not a, no, GXX could be, but it's just not going to do it for me. And it could take off from here. It would change plans if it started to break above these levels. Then it's starting to, but I can't get them all. And sometimes they would have been good if I was there at the right moment, but then they go past that moment and I can't, the volatility, the range is too great. So this is making an ascending wedge triangle that I would be paying attention to. Should it be breaking higher than that? But not, I got it marked as an April thing there, but I don't like it. I'm not going to put a screenshot there. It could be, you know, but it doesn't, there's so many others that have better profile. Look at the volume profile here is much better. I would like this to consolidate more before it jumps onto a list of mine. HSR is not listed. ICN, I wish they would get rid of those ones that are not actually here anymore. 1, 2, 3 bottom formation and a breakout. Broke out, came down, consolidated, and showing strength. So with this volume profile underneath it, ICX gets my vote. And as I trade, I would just buy it at the market right now. If it didn't prove me correct right away and it started to pull back into these levels, I'd be jumping ship. And I wouldn't be adding on until it comes up quite a ways. So if I drag this over a bit and I just scribble on the chart, really, it's got to be doing something this big and consolidating back at old historical levels like this before I'm adding on. I've got a long ways to go. I'm very patient on this kind of thing. After this kind of bottom formation, it's going to go way up and it's going to pull way back, and that's when I'm going to be jumping on so that I'm doing it as safely as possible with my profits. Let me clear this off. Zoom in one step right there. Take that screenshot, copy, and put it into ICX. Now I must, when I was going through this, I must have ran out of time or energy or both. ICN or INS doesn't get back on the list. It was earlier because there's a whole bunch of markets earlier in April that were making these fantastic bottom formations that we had as alerts, and they have taken off. So IOST is something that I definitely have. And I can see why I get to this point and I'm halfway along through all the markets and I am out of energy. I am going to take a break and I am going to come back and I'm going to do another live stream going through all the rest of these coins on Binance. So I appreciate you guys being along. I know that the edit of this afterwards will be a lot faster. Everybody who's coming along to watch this video will be able to click on those time frame links, jump right into the screenshot, make their own decisions. We'll be back and we'll be talking our way all the way through the next coins because I want this success for myself. And if you can get success out of this, then it makes my purpose here a better, I'm doing better for the world. And I want to make that life-changing business a difference for everybody who has helped me in this course. Everybody who's been participating, supported the course or the alerts program, or just been in the chat and talking away and keeping everything going. It's fantastic. Great to have you along. I will be back soon, and I will post the link in the Discord chat again. Ciao for now. Let me find the stop button. Reorganized all my screens here. Okay, I'm done. Good to have you along, Gary. Let's make some profit.